How's it going? This is Chris with Chris's Comments. It's a site talking about common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. I'm going to be covering a couple of subjects. Starting off with the mask removals. It turns out if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. I am fully vaccinated. I got the Johnson & Johnson 1 shot, 1 kill. However, I am going to be... I'm going to still be wearing the mask because I'm a rideshare driver. And I got a lot of maskers and anti-maskers, vaxxers and anti-maskers, vaxxers in my vehicle. I get them all the time. I get them from different countries, different parts of the U.S. And I get them all inside this little ride right here. I'll do that so you can... There we go. Yeah, it's only right that I just continue staying safe, you know. I'm not... There's nothing wrong with me, but at the same time, I just prefer to play it safe. I'm going to keep wearing this, mostly because right now it feels like it's part of the uniform. It's part of what I got here. I got my sanitizers and my disinfectants and my alcohol wipes and my mask and everything. So I hope everybody out there uses your better judgment and staying safe, whether you're fully vaccinated or not. You know the environments that you're going to. And even if you don't, keep a mask available just in case. Just in case. One of the main reasons why I say this is because tonight also happens to be the premiere of the movie based off of the Saw series, starring Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I gotta be honest, even I want to go to a theater and see it. It's been a while for me. Even I want to go into the theaters and see it. But I'd definitely be taking a mask with me just to play it safe. This way nobody could see me going, when something scary happens, they'll just see. And I could play it off. I could play it off like I wasn't scared. That wasn't scared. That was funny to me. See? You couldn't tell that I was scared out of my damn mind. So yeah, we got the lift of the mask restrictions, for lack of a better word. I just like to say, use your better judgment. And I mean, you don't have to follow my direction, but I am typically one of you out there. I am no different than you guys. I'm a worker. I'm doing this on my lunch break, and I'm, concerned. I'm a little guy, no differently than anybody else, any of you out there. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Liz Cheney, a Republican in Wyoming that lost her title as a spokesperson for the Republican Party. She's the third ranking one, and she got replaced with some Stefaniak. I forgot her name, but I think she's from this little guy's perspective, she's just another puppet to the cause. And losing Cheney was a mistake. It was a mistake because Cheney actually has some experience in the power play and just the know-how on how to handle all the problems that are coming up and that will be coming up in the future. She's experienced and everything. Stefaniak is not. She's actually just some lady that's part of the current agenda, which is the Trumpism, and that's bad. That's bad. Because it's no different than it's no different than favoring somebody like AOC, who's a part of the socialist movement that Sanders is throwing out there. We like her, but at the same time, we're not going to really put her in a seat of power, much less like the presidency, no more than we would her mentor, Bernie Sanders, for being a socialist, which, that's also bad. You got to be just an American political figure first. That should be a huge distant second, But, don't say but, however, they want to go ahead and do things by way of their party. So, wonk, wonk. And, that's the long and the short. What does that mean for us down here, for us little guys? Not much. Not much. And the proof is the fact that they got Stefaniak and let go of Cheney. Cheney has a hell of a lot more political power and connections and knows the system and the routine well enough to run our country, or at least run our state and be a part of running the country. Giving her up and putting in Stefaniak, who's just this mouth, is a real good way to lose power, even more power, because that whole get the country in an uprival status, that's worked, but it's only gone so far. And to top it all off, the little that it's gone has gone all the way to January 26th with a riot and them just making total jackasses out of themselves. Speaking of January 26th, the next issue, the next subject is the deniers, the GOP political figures that are the GOP political figures that are claiming that it didn't happen, and there was videotape of people walking around no differently than tourists and all this other stuff, and that anything that puts them in a bad light is made up by the Democrats. Ha! Okay. There's a lot to go with that, and there's even more that followed, so bear with me on this. What does that mean to us little guys? Well, hold on. First, let's get with the clarification. No, they weren't just parading around. They were talking about hanging Mike Pence. Not that big of a deal. However, it does describe intent of wanting to commit a felony. And that's on top of the felony that they were already doing, but going past the barricades and breaking in and forcing the cops back and beating them up and all this good stuff. 2 of them got killed. The other 3 were actual protesters, and then the rest were injured. And even if they didn't do anything, let's say there was somebody that didn't have a Confederate flag in his hand. Let's say that same person didn't take selfies with the guards. Let's say that the person didn't rest himself on a office and start going through private things. Let's say that none of that happened. Let's say there was one guy there that was going back and forth like a tourist in the Capitol building. In fact, there were. It still doesn't excuse him. Because if you remember, there was still an electoral process being done. And there was to be no interruptions. There was to be no trespassing by any citizen, or non-citizen for that matter, to be going into the Capitol building while that electoral process was being done. So that's a felony right there. Even if it is a misdemeanor felony, it doesn't matter. Class C misdemeanor felony, it doesn't matter. What matters is justice being done. So if you go over there and you break the law, you're breaking the law, plain and simple. And so which leads to, there's no sense of living in the past. You're living in the past. We got stuff going on in the Middle East. There's always something going on in the Middle East. We got this stuff going on here. The pandemic, it's already being to the point where we don't need to wear our masks. Thank you very much. And we got the homeless. Okay, first off, here in San Antonio, the homeless are being taken care of. In other places, they're being taken care of in their own certain way. California has already removed a few homeless people out of certain neighborhoods, particularly around Venice Beach, the famous Venice Beach and Skid Row. So for the opposition of anti-trials for those who committed a felony on Capitol Hill, you really don't have much of a leg to stand on. Everything's being taken care of. A crisis at the border? Well, not really, because those migrants are actually being placed into shelters, as well as the whole families and large groups that are coming over here without verification, backgrounds, and identification. They're getting deported back into embassies in Mexico. So, no, crisis, no. All these people and smugglers that are, here in Texas, the smugglers are being caught. Smugglers are being caught. Migrants are being apprehended. So for everybody to say, stop looking at the past and look at all this turmoil and crisis and doom. Look at all the doom. No. We could see what's going on. We, the middle, how this pertains to us down here on at the low end of the level here, at the low end of the pool. We see what's going on. And, all that doom and, that's, it's a bunch of BS. And to reiterate, it doesn't excuse the people that committed a felony and insurrected Capitol Hill. They broke the law there. They have to be punished. And even though it's only a total of 400, a lot of them very serious crimes, it's not the 2,600 plus that were there. And all 2,600 plus need to be arrested, fined, feed, jailed, imprisoned, whichever category they fall in. Okay, whatever category that they fall in. Dressing up like a dumbass, and I'm referring to that dude with the Viking buffalo head and the Star Wars Rebel tattoo on his belly, which is just stupid. Star Wars was about people rebelling against an evil empire. An imperial empire. We don't have any people here that's imperial. We don't have any people we don't have an imperial empire going on in the U.S. We could call it that. It's been labeled that. Just ask the Antifa. They're the first ones to label America as an evil empire. Long before you conservative extremists were around. I know, because I grew up with those douchebags. I was young. 14. Did my Tom Sawyer way of living. Wound up meeting those people. Talking about this and that and, anarchism this and anarchism that and anti-fascist this and anti-fascist that. I grew up listening to all that crap in between passing the douchey. In between passing the doobage. Puff, puff, pass. I heard all that crap. This is back in the 1980s. It's been going around that long. Maybe even longer. So the conservative extremists here that are trying to do the same tactics from the time that I was a child, all the way till now, they really don't have much of a leg to stand on. They should go to jail, especially for that babbling bullcrap that's been said since the 1980s, 1970s. It's just a bunch of BS. Speaking of babbling bullcrap, this babbling doomsday garbage, everybody's still up in arms about this $15 a wage thing. I was told that, you know, people get paid minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour. We're going to start seeing Happy Meals as high as $20. We're going to start seeing everything go up in price and everything, the cost of living. Well, technically, the cost of living has always been high. But back to the, even back when I was getting high. But back to the subject, $15 an hour, raising the minimum wage is really what it's about. And to be honest, I heard about that babbling bull crap as far back as from when I was a child worker, starting at $3.50 when Clinton came in and wanted to raise it up to $4.25. And excuse me, back when he raised it up to $4.25, yeah, I mean we were told that it's a sign of communism, it's a sign of Marxism, it's a sign of socialism, you know. This doomsday, the financial market is going to crash and the people are going to wind up poor and, you know, all this doomsday crap. That's old. To hear these people talk about it now, like it's going to lead to this total chaotic chaos in the streets. Well, dude, it's the same old song and dance for a little guy like me that's been listening to it as far back as the 1980s and early 90s, when I first started working an hourly wage job in my teen years. You know, it's the same old song and dance. And the only real reason why anybody looks into raising the minimum wage is because it's time. It's economically, fiscally, financially time to do that. And there's ways to get it done and all this good stuff. And currently, we're looking at the current administration is looking into taxing the wealthy, which hasn't been done in a while. So there's a lot of money to see that's been being made, and a lot of money to see that's not being invested in our country. You know? So, yeah, I mean, it's time. It's time for a raise in minimum wage. And as long as we're talking about me in agreement with it, okay? Me, this little guy, no different than you guys on the other side of the screen. Yeah, it would really help me a lot too. I don't get paid a minimum wage, but I know everybody that does is going to be jumping in my ride through rideshare. It's just better business for me. I understand that. I want the infrastructure. I want to be transporting construction workers. I want to be transporting rail car conductors. I want to be transporting all those people. I want to be transporting $15 an hour jobs to that fast food joint. You know? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. There's a benefit in it for me. I ain't gonna lie. But it still doesn't exclude the fact that it's necessary. It's necessary. People, they need this way more than I do. Don't get me wrong, I could use it myself. However, I am not all of them. All of the ones that actually do need this pay raise, or at least the minimum wage, risen. All of them that really, really need the tax cut, the tax break, the tax relief. Again, I'm still single. I don't have any children. I never brought any into this world. But even though I didn't, I still see what's going on with everybody here. They need these tax breaks. They need for the government and the IRS to lay off while they attack well, not attack, but while they tax the big dogs, the wealthy people. These people need it way more than I do. And more than, I'm going to bet, way more than you do. You need these tax breaks. Way more. I don't have anybody under my roof. I don't have any dependents. You do, probably. So yeah, embrace this. I know I'm going to, and I don't even need it. Hell yes. It's our tax-paying dollars. And it's the tax-paying dollars that the wealthy hasn't been paying. So forget about it. I'm coming up to my last 4 minutes or 3 minutes. And I want to stay safe out there, guys. I understand that we don't have to wear our masks anymore if we've already been fully vaccinated. I'm still going to, because I've got anti-maskers, and you guys just use cautions, take a step back, think, look, see where you're going. You're going to be in an area where this will come in handy. So just, hang on to it and keep staying safe out there. Whoever you are on the other side of this screen. Just take care, take it easy, and we'll see you around. We'll see you around, and have fun, enjoy yourselves, and take it easy, okay? This is Chris. Chris's comments. Common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. We're all a bunch of people with really one thing in common. We want to live happy with as little headaches as possible. So what did all that mean to us? Some of it very important, some of it not so. Others just there. It's just there. And that's the bottom line right there. That's the bottom line. That's where this show comes in. And I hope where your show comes in. If you ever want to do this for a while also, if you want to give it a shot, do it. Voice your concern. Because right now the mainstream is nothing but mediocrity bullcrap. Whatever level that they're on. Rhetoric, extremism, or drama. And crying. And what about the children? And all this other stuff. Okay? We've got a bunch of extremes right now. But whatever the end of the spectrum, it comes down to you and I, who are just down-to-earth people with, again, that one thing in common. We want to live happy with as little headaches as possible. And I hope you do. I hope you do. This is Chris with Chris's Comments. Signing out. Y'all take care. Have a safe weekend. And we'll see you around.